How much time are you wasting every single day? This is something I've been becoming fascinated with because I've started working on it in myself, but as I become more aware of it, I'm seeing it in almost every single person. In fact, a study released recently within the last year said that the average person wastes 21 hours a week. That's almost an entire day of your week gone, wasted to doing who knows what. Just useless activities and things that don't get you any farther along towards your goals or in life or whatever area you're trying to achieve in. So if those things make you happy and that's all you really want out of life, then that's fine. But if you're really trying to get to the next level, then you're going to need to really focus on your time management and how you're using the time that you get every single day. You see, the one thing that unites us all together as humans is that we have the same exact amount of time every single day. No matter who you are, where you come from, how much money you have, what you look like, does not matter. Who your parents were, what school you went to, we all have the same amount of time every day. In fact, I've been really fascinated over the past few weeks, months with the thought of how I'm thinking about how much some people have achieved. Think about the people who have achieved on the highest levels. You know, you have like an Oprah or like a Bill Gates or like a Warren Buffett, people who've amassed billions of dollars or who have just started. I mean, for so many people, it's a challenge to start one company, and some people have started 20. It's really amazing how much some people have achieved. But when you really start to think, how are they doing all of that? And it's, you know, maybe you don't know, and I probably don't know either, but what I do know is they have the same amount of time every single day that we have. They don't have any extra time. They don't have like a 36-hour day that they work in. They have the 24 hours that you and I also have. Some of that's going to be for sleep. If we just say 8 hours, because that's what most people sleep, you're left with 16 hours of time to use. So the question is, how are you using that time? Now, if you subtract, you know, the basic things that you have to do, take a shower, eat food, drive to and from work, whatever, work at your job, whatever you have to do right now in your current life situation, you're still left with some small chunks of time here and there where you're probably, you know, caught scrolling through social media. Maybe you watch a show on Netflix or whatever, and those things really start to add up. 15 minutes here or there really adds up. So, you know, that's why the average American wastes 21 hours a week. So like I said, that's almost a whole day every single week gone. So basically you don't have a 7-day week, you have a 6-day week, because one day is completely useless. So if you really start to think about it like that, the key here is you have to start thinking, you know, becoming aware of your time first, and then you can start to make changes, because the first step is becoming aware of it. You know, I didn't really have a conscious mind, because you just kind of do things mindlessly all the time. You know, you're just kind of, you know, you're scrolling, but you're not thinking, wow, this is such a waste of time. You're just like looking through stuff and laughing at a meme, or you're like watching a funny video or whatever it is, or you're texting a friend. You know, you just do those things throughout your life and you don't really think about it. But when you really start to kind of get in the mindset of, I want to start focusing my time more on productive things, then when you are wasting time, there's like this little background voice saying, you know, this is a waste of time, because you're when you become conscious of it first, that will kick in when you're actually doing it. So the first step now, if you want to start using your time more efficiently, more effectively, is to start becoming aware of the fact that you do waste a ton of time. Now, that's a hard pill to swallow for most people, because the hardest thing in personal growth is admitting that you were wrong in the first place. But that's something you have to do if you want to grow. So if you want to get anywhere, you have to first admit that maybe the way you're doing things is not right at the current time. So to get farther along, you need to make changes, and making changes means that you're admitting that you weren't doing it right in the first place. So that was tough for me, because I consider myself to be an extremely hardworking person, an extremely efficient person. But then when I really started to become aware, auditing my time and my time management and what I was using my day for, you know, how many minutes I get in a certain day is only a certain amount. And, you know, like I said, once you subtract sleeping and all the things I have to do, I only have a little bit left. So I need to use that as efficiently as possible. So if I was still watching Netflix, if I was still spending a lot of time scrolling through Instagram, if I was still, you know, just hanging out with friends, then I wouldn't be getting anything done, because I only have a little bit. So I need to use all that time focused on exactly what I want, so that way I can get the most out of my day. Now, this is obviously, depending on your life situation, it's easier to do for some people than others, but you can always find ways to make it more efficient than it is. Now, what I would challenge you to do is like a little thought experiment. And this is something I've been doing, which is really effective, because if you have to ask yourself, if someone, you might think, I don't waste any time. I'm always productive. I'm always doing something. Well, I bet if I followed you around with a paper and pen and I was just writing everything that you did at all times. Every 10 minutes I make another note. What you're doing now, what you're doing now, what you're doing now. And then we look at that every day, and we have a sheet that shows every single day. I guarantee you we can highlight time and time again where we're like, what were you doing here? This was absolutely nothing. What were you doing here? This was worth absolutely nothing. Because everybody does it. I'm guilty of it too. I'm not saying I'm like, this king of time. I don't waste any time. We all do it. But the key is becoming aware of it first, so that way you can move further into a place where you're becoming conscious of it and you start to realize it when you're doing it, and then you can start to make changes from there. So, once I became aware of it, then, let's say someone messaged me on Instagram, a friend saying something, and I open my phone, I'm on Instagram, and all I'm trying to do is just open the message and see what they said. But once I open the message, then I see a funny picture, I start scrolling through my feed, and someone tagged me in a post, and it's like, before I know it, I'm on there for 30 minutes, and I'm like, where did this time go? All I was trying to do was open a message. So you have to become really, really aware, really, really conscious of it first. And then now I start to address things with a more purposeful intent. When I open my phone, it's to do one specific thing and I shut it down. I don't allow my brain to go into that because I know what's going to happen. It's going to pull me in and waste my time. I don't allow myself to turn on Netflix because I know that I'll probably see a show that I'm interested in. Oh, that looks cool. I know there's stuff on there that I want to watch. But the question is it helping me get towards my goals? Absolutely not in most cases. I mean, maybe sometimes there can be a documentary that's really informational that kind of changes your mindset and helps you in some way. That can be good. But if you're just on there to watch, the latest series of a show that's just kind of, to kind of let you forget about life, then that's probably not gonna, move you anywhere towards your goals. Now, we all have a time where we need to unwind and we need to use our time for de-stress, and I think that's extremely important. If you don't have that, you can kind of burn out and run yourself into a wall. But there's a lot of ways to do that, and you don't need as much time to do that as you think. So some people think like, oh, I need to unwind, I had a long day at work, and then they'll justify watching 3 hours binge watching of their favorite show. Whereas it's better to kind of like come home, maybe like, make a nice meal, read a little bit of a good book, read 10 pages a day of a good book that's going to stimulate your mind every single day. And then, you'll read one new book a month. If you just do 10 pages, that's not very hard. So come home, cook a nice meal, healthy for yourself, then read some 10 pages of a good book, and then, then watch like one episode and go to sleep, something like that. That's a way more efficient way to wind down because you can nourish your body with a healthy meal, nourish your brain with healthy information, and then still unwind and kind of de-stress and forget about life for only 1 hour instead of coming home and binge watching for 3 hours. So I challenge you, if you're watching this video, I guarantee you're wasting time somewhere. Audit your time or practicing this thought experiment of imagining if someone was watching me all day, what would they say about my day today? Would they say, wow, this person doesn't waste any time. He's always crushing it towards his goal. Like he's always working towards something. He's always pushing towards something. He's always pressing on the gas. Or would they be saying, this person is just wastes time when they could be doing so much more? You need to ask yourself, what would that person say about me? What would they tell someone else about me? Like, let's say someone followed you around with that paper and pen, was jotting down everything you did all day, and then they went and told someone else. Would you be proud of what they told that person? Probably not in most cases if the averages are what the study says. So, like I said, you could be one of those people that doesn't waste any time, and if you don't, that's great, but chances are you probably do somewhere. So, no matter what that is. I try to maximize every single minute that I have. I stopped listening to music in the car. I turned my downtime into uptime by listening to audiobooks while I drive, because that way, instead of just wasting my time listening to music, that's, if I drive an hour every day, I can read an hour of an audiobook every day. That's another book like every week in most cases. So that's a great use of my time. So you start finding these little cracks to fill and things to get rid of, things to put in their place to become more productive. So I challenge you guys, if I followed you every day and looked at everything you did, would I think that you waste a lot of time, or would I think that you are absolutely crushing it? Drop it in the comments below. Tell me what you think. Tell me like, wow, I really do waste a lot of time now that I think about it, and I want to start making some changes. Or start saying, no, I don't. I really am really efficient, and I don't think I waste any time. Tell me what you think in the comments. If you like this video and you like this kind of vlog style content, give it a thumbs up. Share this with someone who you think wastes a lot of time, and that could help them kind of rethink about how they're spending their days, guys. So that being said, I will see you on the next video. Go out there and crush it. Stop wasting time.